everybody, and welcome back to the range. Tom here, and today we're doing this 4x4 open back pickup truck. I got it in the mail from Ghetto's Diecast Customs. I think I got that right, but I also got some more in the mail from him. So why don't we head on down to the range and let's get started. Before we get started, we're going to do first a mail call. And, Ghetto's Diecast, great dude. He is number 1 on the entry for the Monster Jam Challenge. And he calls this the Metal Rat. An awesome looking monster truck. I love how he did the details on it. The wheels are phenomenal. I love how it looks. It looks fantastic. And I already got the lineup going. Got another one in the mail from the Weekend Warrior. He sent in a package earlier today. Well, yesterday. But, I'll kind of show that in my next video. But we're going to go ahead and check a look at this 67 Pontiac GTO. This ain't the only customs that I got from him other than the Monster Jam. I also got this little swamp, bug thing, Wave Rider, whatever. I can't remember the name of it. But, he sent this to me, and I got some ideas that I want to use for this. Just got to kind of do it from there. This is a custom he built for me. And, as soon as I get some more cases, it's going straight into a case with his name right below it. I can't wait to, see what all I do to the other ones. So, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with this 4x4 open bed truck. This truck was actually made in 1981. I was looking at it real clear and I was like, holy crap, this is probably the oldest custom or the oldest diecast car that I have in my shop right now. So, it's already off-road. Gonna be making it better. I'm gonna stick with the off-road theme. I'm gonna put some better tires on it, redo the suspension setup, and just make this look so much better. And it was called the Triceratops. I don't know if anybody else seen these. I have these Samad wheels I'm going to be putting on it. I'm going to be custom making the chassis. And, just kind of doing my little twist to it. I want to get it. I want to look good. It's going to have a nice paint job to it. Got these slick wheels on it. I want it to, it's going to look pretty decent after I'm done with it because of the colors I've using. And you'll see that towards the end of the video. I know I'm wanting to strip it down, get new paint on it. It's a bunch of other things. First I thought about what I wanted to do with the base. And I ended up not using the original roll bars for it because it's just kind of, I don't like them. Yep, you just see me tossing it off to the side. I'm like, yeah, I ain't using these. I don't want to use them. I'm going to make my own to go with it. But right now I'm trying to decide what exactly I'm going to do to the base to actually improve it. So what I ended up starting to do, I took some square styrene. And I'm pretty much measuring it because I'm going to make a frame for everything to sit on. And attached to, so, just building the frame out of styrene, using the actual base itself for a template, trying to get everything lined up, the length right, everything's, to what it needed to do. And this thing didn't come with an interior, and it came with a red windscreen. I don't really like the word red windscreen, but I didn't really have anything right off the top, right out in reach to actually make a new windscreen, so I just kind of trimmed the windscreen up. I'm putting some braces here because I didn't know exactly if I was just going to run it straight custom base or if I was actually going to use the base from the actual casting itself. But I don't always make I don't always do this to the base, but I needed some way to keep it all together and keep the length on it, and get to the fact where I needed to, like, where I was gonna be having to do some cutting, because I ended up cutting the base up and just left this frame, and I just kind of glued it to the base and just cut the wheel portions off of it because I didn't like them. I went ahead and made these little rear fender walls for whenever I put it together, and it was easy to do. I just cut some strip of styrene, put the body on, and just kind of smashed the styrene in there, and then glued it in, and it just came to shape. So it was really easy to do. Anybody can really do it. But I wanted to get it to where, because at this point I decided I was going to reuse the base. And at the time, like, I'm wanting to make sure I get it glued in, and right here I'm running out of glue, so I had to kind of switch it over to my new thing of glue, because like one of these things of glue will actually last me quite some time as long as I don't use up a lot of it. But I took my Dremel tool, cut the wheelbases off of it, and I kind of did a little bit of filing. I did use the Dremel tool to cut a little bit more and kind of smooth, widen out the area a little bit. And it just, I wanted everything to pretty much look like it belonged there, like I always do. I want to try to go as close as possible. And this is the first off-road base that I've actually made from scratch. So it gave me an idea of how I wanted to do, like, my future off-road builds. I might actually build a monster truck from scratch using this technique that I used on this casting, with the way I did the whole build, the way I did the base and everything. And I used a lot of styrene. So I honestly, I liked how I did it, and I'm kind of debating, it wouldn't fit with this little front piece on there, so I decided to cut it off, so I know whenever I put it together, it would fit in there with no problems. And, like I said earlier, it didn't have an interior, so I ended up making one of my own. You won't see that till towards the end of the video. That's when I actually started making the actual interior. But right now I'm just trying to get it prepped. I didn't cut anything else from the body off, after I pulled it out of the gun oil. I just wanted to get this portion off so it would fit down a lot easier. I didn't have to twist it and push it and all that kind of stuff, because it wouldn't have fit right or anything like that. And what I want to try to do is knock out at least one more video before I post up my 4 horseman build. So, I mean, one after this one. I'm going to try to work on another build probably in the next day or so. Try to knock one out real quick before I post my 4 horseman build, which is already done. It's ready to get put on there. And I'm just waiting for the right time to get it posted. And I still got to take the glamour shots of it and everything like that. I really like how the Volkswagen Bug turned out. So, I'm really hoping y'all like it too. But when I do this next video, I'll kind of do like a little mail call like I did with this video, and show you guys what I got from the Weekend Warrior. And I got some pretty cool things in there from him, and I want to say thank you. I appreciate it. I like them. And I'm going to be doing some painting on them and probably use them for some builds. Actually show people, my builds, whatever on them. But I told you guys I was going to be using this dune buggy, like, exterior roll cage skeleton. I was going to use the shocks on it for a future build, and this is the one I decided to use it for. So I cut them off, and I also used them to attach the axles to. And honestly, it worked out really good. It gave it that off-road look, and luckily enough, I had it raised up, and it was pretty level, and I was pretty happy with the entire build of it. And luckily enough, I was able to get them glued in the right spot to actually put the axles on. And you'll see a little further on, like, because I'll slow down the video a little bit to actually kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like. But I wanted to make sure everything was glued. They looked centered. I have, like I said, the Samad wheels, so I had to make some axle tubes out of the brass 116 tubing, I think is what it is. I can't remember. But I ended up using that, and just kind of, it was perfect, honestly. And I had my .32 wire because I just cut the axles just to kind of see how it was going to look, and I was going to put a straight axle all the way through, and just to get that idea of what it would look like. Excuse me. And you see I kind of already cut the front and the rear portions of the wheel well, or the wheels, the stock wheels out, to make room for the lift kit that I'm putting on. And right now I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to attach the front shock portions, and I'm making some, I don't know what they're called, but these, I don't know, but they're adapters to hold up the axle in place. And took the styrene, kind of took my rounded file and just kind of sanded a groove in there, filed a groove in there so it'll fit around the axle, so I don't have to sit there and file it down afterwards, because it's already glued in and I don't have to worry about it. And I ended up bending them downward and trimming them off a little bit to get them to where they sat lower, and they actually turned out actually a lot better than what I was expecting. So I was really happy with the whole turnout of how this is the off-road suspension looked. So I'll be probably doing other ones like this sometime in the future, and I'm gonna probably make some makeshift shocks that look like shocks but they don't work. And it's just one of those thoughts where I'm like, what, I want to try to do something, and something where I was doing something with the suspension, because I haven't done a suspension on here in a while. Well, any lifted suspension, I should say, because I'm always trying to watch videos and see how they do it and see how others people do it. And some of the ways that I've seen people do it, I really just don't like it, because I don't really like mine to bounce. I like mine to stay, straight and solid, not moving. Just kind of give it that look. And once I got done with this, it actually, everything about it, I love. I love everything, how this turned out with the suspension, with the interior, with the paint. It looks like a really cool looking truck when I'm done with it. And I thought about cutting a hood or cutting a hole in the hood and putting an engine sticking out, but I was like, I'm gonna go with a clean, just leave the body alone. Don't worry about cutting, into the body. I'll just try to worry about getting the off-road suspension, set up to where, you could actually make it to where it looks like it was actually an off-road suspension. And the front ones were just a tad bit taller than the dual ones in the back, because they were set more of an angle. So I had to do the same thing with this one, is I had to put them at an angle from the top to where, they looked like they were sitting level. So all in all, just having a good eye, it really helps with that kind of stuff to do. Making sure everything's level. And see here, I got the roll bars already made. I even got some little Nerf bars on the side. It's got that jacked up look. I think it looks fantastic. I put a piece of it's a 3D printed part thing that came with some of the Benchwork toys, and I just kind of made it into like a little differential or something down there, and wanted it to just kind of have that look. And once it's all painted, you can't really tell, which I really like that fact total, because it's, I love off-road trucks. I love jacked up trucks, but the thing is, I hate these big old jacked up trucks with these little bitty tires that literally does not look like they belong on the road. You know, I wanted to make sure I kind of smoothed it around, you know, so when I painted it, it didn't like bulge up anywhere, and had to get rid of some of the little gaps or the little glue spots that kind of got stuck in place. So I kind of trimmed those up a bit and sanded it down. You know, I'm testing everything, and everything looks like it sets perfectly with these Nerf bars on the side. I had to throw those on there, give it that look. And you know, the hardest thing to do was actually custom making an interior. You know, getting it to where it would fit with the base, fit with the windscreen, fit with, you know, everything that was on it, and be able to actually look, you know, inside and actually see the interior, because the windscreen was a whole piece. It was like it was solid all the way around. There was no openings where you could see through the windows or anything like that. I had some racing seats that I got from Ben Jordan Toys a while back that I ended up putting on this lower platform of the interior. So, you know, I'm trying to adjust it and see what all I'd have to do to get the interior to fit. You know, I got at least the seats in it. And, you know, it doesn't look too bad. It looks like kind of some high up seats, but all in all, it turned out really good on that one. You know, making a center console area to attach a dash to. And, you know, it just trying to make it to where it would actually look like an interior. I think I succeeded. And, you know, just using mostly styrene and doing some sanding and filing and smoothing it out. You know, I was trying to figure out where I was going to find a steering wheel, so I started rummaging through all my little components and little just random stuff just laying around. And I found a little chrome steering wheel that I ended up putting in here, and you'll see it here in a few minutes, because I'm using the styrene to make a dash. You know, I had to do a lot of sanding and filing and stuff to get it to fit with the windscreen that went in there. Had to do some trimming on the windscreen to the point where it accidentally cracked. And here's the little chrome steering wheel I was telling you about that I ended up putting in this. And like making sure I had to adjust it just right to where you could actually, you know, it looked at a decent angle. It didn't bother with the steering wheel or with the windscreen. It didn't, you know, get in the way of the seats. And all in all, I think I did a really good job making the interior. And, you know, I try to do custom interiors based off of the interiors that they already have on there. But this one, like I said, had no interior. Nothing. So I wanted to make it on my own. But when it came to paint, I did a oblique white first, then I did this crimson red. And while I was waiting for that, you know, I ended up doing some little detailing after I painted a jet black base and started painting the shocks red, and put a little bit of metallic silver in with it. You know, I ended up painting the lights with a little drop of white paint from a toothpick. You know, because like I said, I wanted to give it that actual look. And you know, once I got done with actually doing the detail on the base, I put it over in a clear coat, got that set up, you know, taped off the truck, because I really like this crimson red. Now, I didn't go fancy, well, my definition of fancy, but I ended up going a jet black over top of it after I got done taping it, because, you know, red and black are usually good colors to go together, you know. So I went ahead with that, and, you know, did a nice little fancy design. Don't finish here, but this is what we started off with. Good little casting to work with, to do something with, you know, the 4x4 open bed truck. Got it from Ghetto. Appreciate it, brother. I love the casting. First thing I wanted to do to it when I saw it was put a video on it. So without further ado, let's check out the final results. and I'll see you next time at the range.